I'm the guy who was worried about Trump attacking Iran, Trump starting a war with China. I did not have it on my bingo card for war with Denmark and Panama in 2025. From the guy, as you said, who was supposed to be the No More Wars president. I had leftist friends of mine, Muslim friends of mine saying, well, you know, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris have been so hawkish. At least Donald Trump, he'll be anti-war. He's not even president yet. Yeah. And he's saying, I can't rule out military action against a fellow NATO member, Denmark. By the way, the national security argument is so absurd to take in Greenland because it's like, oh, well, Russia and the Arctic. I thought Russia's Trump's pal. I thought Putin's not aggressive. And here's an interesting point. What do Musk, Putin, Trump all agree on? Don't defend Ukraine. Just roll over for Russia. Mm-hmm. And they argue it on the grounds that we shouldn't be involved in foreign wars. We shouldn't be sending our money to Ukraine. How much do you think it costs to buy Greenland? Like $1 trillion, according to the Financial Times. Who's paying for that? The whole thing is so absurd that we have to keep reminding ourselves, pinching ourselves, that this is not normal. No other president-elect, including George W. Bush, who basically stole an election and was thicker than any president who came before him. Even he didn't have a transition like this, right? So we just have to keep reminding ourselves that even as we talk about this stuff, Greenland, Panama, war with Allah, we are in upside down world.
We are, and it's also hard to discern what it is that some of these men want, right? Elon Musk is either just a self-aggrandizing, you know, he's just talking and he just wants to control the world just for his own whatever purposes of feeling powerful because he's bored, right? Or he has some bigger picture because you mentioned George Soros. He is still banging on and on and on about George Soros and all of these conspiracy theories of white replacement theory, and it's global white replacement theory. It's Muslims who are going to suddenly replace all of the Europeans, and there will be every, you know, one in the UK will be named Muhammad, and there'll be no more Johns and Jameses, right? And they're spreading that meme, the idea that George Soros is somehow funding some secret cabal to replace all of white Europeans with people from Syria. That's part of what his push is too, along with, you know, screaming about birth rates in Western countries. It's hard to decide what is the overall philosophy, but it ain't anything good.
No, it ain't anything good. And I think you can split it between, you know, is he becoming more of a, what's the phrase, red-pilled? Is he radicalizing himself in real time? As Trump did. By the way, all these people are like former liberals or centrists, whatever you want to call it. They were not right-wing Republicans when they started out. Donald Trump, Elon Musk, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard. They're all radicalizing themselves and coming to the same positions, as you said, to the Putins and Orbans of this world, the great replacement stuff. The anti-Muslim stuff is a common theme, whether you're in Germany, whether you're in the US. In the UK, he spent the last few days 200, 300 times tweeting about Muslim rape gangs and Pakistani immigrants and Labour selling votes for Muslims and raping white children.
Wow. Absolutely. So we got to unpack this. And this is what we were talking about earlier. We were talking about, you had Sonny hosting talking about, oh, the mainstream media has journalists that fact check. That discussion was full of lies, full of misinformation, and they're on a mainstream platform, MSNBC, and we got to unpack it.
But KJ, it was not misinformation. It was disinformation. It was deliberately false. They know doggone well they were not telling the truth. No, she's a race hustler and a grifter of the highest order. And, you know, I'm not trying to be a mean person, but if you turn the volume off and watch that, it's going to be frightening.
Oh, yeah.
It's absolutely frightening.
Oh, my gosh. Shelly,
you were saying something about the...
Yeah, I was talking about, first off, the whole thing about what he was talking about Russia and saying that Trump said that he loved Putin. Oh, he never said that. He said that he has a respect for him and that he can, he has his relationship is one that he's not afraid of him and that he's going to tell him like it is. You know, he's going to be able to do some type of agreement with this and end this war. He did not say that Putin is his best friend, but the lying mainstream leftist media keep pushing this lie.
And let's get something straight. The USA pays about 16 to 20% of the budget of NATO, whereas the other members pay 2% if they pay that at all. So we already pay 8 to 10 times more. In my estimation, in my never to be humble opinion, hell, we already own Greenland. We have bought it at least 8 to 10 times over. Oh, yeah. Okay, take it.
Your position is clear, but have you directed your staff to take these specific actions to drop plans? And can you elaborate again? You didn't rule out military coercion.
Well, we need Greenland for national security purposes. I've been told that for a long time, long before I even ran. I mean, people have been talking about it for a long time. You have approximately 45,000 people there. People really don't even know if Denmark has any legal right to it. But if they do, they should give it up because we need it for national security. That's for the free world. I'm talking about protecting the free world. You look at, you don't even need binoculars. You look outside, you have China ships all over the place. You have Russian ships all over the place. We're not letting that happen. We're not.
Trump, folks, it's going to be a crazy year. It is going to be a wild 2025.
It's
Trump,
already rocky.
Trump has come in with a bang. He's back to doing press conferences. He's back to shutting down the media, the leftist media, with their stupid questions. He is back and he is better than ever. And now they're talking about Greenland. So I'm all for it. I mean, Greenland is Viking.
I love it.
It's Viking land. Let's do it.
First of all, look, if Putin did not and does not want Ukraine to be on his borders with NATO, then damn it, Trump says we're going to get Greenland. And Jing, you're on the other side of the world. We don't want you off the shores in Greenland this close to the U.S. You're already in that country sending your drones. Oh no, Trump is not having it. I love it.
It's a honey shot.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. Take it. We need to take it. Trump is not joking.
Yes.
Listen, I think it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful idea. It's not solely Trump's. I think it was Andrew Johnson, I think it's like president number 17, in 1867, give or take, who made the first offer. Then again, Harry Truman in the late 40s, I think 46 or 47, made an offer to Greenland. I think we need it, as Trump is saying, for national security. Here you are. It's a hop, skip, and a jump, right? We've got Europe, we've got China, we've got everything we need on this nice little island. And yes, it does have some resources, but United States is resource rich, for lack of a better term. But for us, it's about not only securing the United States, but everything in the Western Hemisphere, right? When we talk about the Monroe Doctrine, let's go back to middle school right quick. People, especially Latin American countries, say, oh, that's very paternalistic and America thinks they're the boss of everybody. But the reason why you sleep at night without being invaded and goose stepping, you know what I mean? Or learning some new Szechuan words from China is because the United States protects you.
Yeah.
And in order to continue to do that, we have absolutely positively get Greenland and Panama Canal.
Well,
take it.
And it's actually, they say, if you look through the history, we actually do own Greenland. So people in Greenland have been talking about independence for a long time. Right now, they are a principality of Denmark. But back in the 1800s, it was actually Americans who discovered most of Greenland. Now, look this up. A guy by the name of Charles Francis Hall and Robert Peary were discoverers of a large portion of Greenland.
I could use a trip to Greenland myself. I would love to go.
They got a nice cruise that goes right on up there.
Oh, okay.
It's a Viking cruise.
But pretty soon, we might be just having flights, hop, skip, and jump over to Greenland real quick. From the USA, all your passports already stamped Greenland. Let's go.
Wow.
We can take the show to Greenland.
It's an important
our flag.
it's important to kind of look at this from two perspectives. One, of course, being the money. And then people say, oh, it's going to be expensive, like the little man said. Oh, it's going to be so expensive. It's going to be so expensive. The United States buys what it needs, right? Is it less expensive to have a war with Russia?
Right.
Or war with China? Because let me tell you, they can't continue to saber rattle with us.
Exactly.
Predominantly China. China has made so many moves in our hemisphere that people don't even realize. Oh, yeah. Do you know the reason why Donald Trump is so upset about the Panama Canal is because China has been building infrastructure and commercial products in China from China into Latin American countries. This is a problem for us.
And the Panama Canal was supposed to have been the USA's anyway.
Yes.
Right. Take it back.
Jimmy Carter.
He wanted to
Jimmy
name
Carter,
the Gulf of Mexico. He wanted to name it the Gulf of America.
I love that.
I love it.
I love that.
We fund fund and support so many countries, our
Yes.
neighbors, yes, European. Our money is all over the world, and we tend to pay, multiples more than whatever the going rate may be.
And that's very true.
I say, if you've paid for something, particularly 8 to 10 times over what everybody else is supposed to pay, is yours.
And look, President Trump posted on Truth Social on the Christmas, "Merry Christmas to all, including to the wonderful soldiers of China who are lovingly but illegally operating the Panama Canal." So Gordon G. Chang writes in Newsweek, "Almost certainly these are Chinese operatives," as you said, "and military personnel in civilian garb. The Panama Canal is a checkpoint that Beijing seeks to control and undoubtedly close off in the moments before the next global war." Trump was right. Therefore, to highlight the issue in his Christmas greeting to China's atheists, Panama has a giant pork chop around its neck. War correspondent Michael Yon, now in the Canal Zone, told me this month. It's called the Panama Canal, and some hungry beast will want to take it. Trump expressed the same sentiment, saying America will never allow the waterway to fall into the wrong hands.
Yes.
So why are these Joy Reid, RB, whatever, Melber, this other gentleman why are they against us being a strong nation? Why are they fighting against us winning?
Because they hate America.
Yeah.
They hate our Constitution. They believe that for all of the wealth and status and economic success that they've had, they hate our Constitution. They hate America and everything that she stands for, except keeping themselves in control.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's what I was going to say. This is all about control. Because if Kamala would have had half or maybe 2/3 of a thought about doing anything on the foreign stage and said, Greenland would be good for us to have for national security, she'd be walking around with a Greenland t-shirt on and the hell with the Danish, we're taking this island. This is not about what's right for the country for her. This is about control. Shelley hit on a really good point about how much money we spend on other nations. The United States is an incredible philanthropist, across the world stage. We give more money, and it makes you kind of, in a way, upset when you look at what's going on at home, but all the money we give away. There's a great little website. It's fa.gov or foreignassistance.gov, and you can pick any nation. Let's say, for example, Canada. How much money the United States gives to Canada and what that nation says they spend that money on. It's kind of like our nation's foreign assistance checkbook.
Wow.
Right.
And there are some things on there that just makes your hair curl. Whatever you do, have yourself a strong glass of wine when you put the Ukraine in there, because you're going to lose your mind.
And he's trying to give
how
more
much money the Ukraine has got, not only from the United States, but from people around the world.
Yeah.
We could have bought them another nation.
Exactly.
We could have picked them up, moved them somewhere else for the amount of money that we've wasted on this with this war.
Well,